What's up, guys? This is the PMCM. Today we are talking about basement waterproofing, specifically our first step in basement waterproofing, and that is sealing any kind of exterior wall. In this case, it's concrete block. The product we're using today is made by a company called IPA. It's called DRYCON. DRYCON is a cementitious crystalline waterproofing. And what that means is it's a coat that is very similar to cement. It's a cement-based product, and what it does is it bonds to the cement surface of the concrete block and seals it. It seals it in a way that's different than your dry lock or your any other paint-based sealer or oil-based sealer. This is a cement-based sealer. This is the second or third time I'm using this product. In the first case, I used it before doing a finished basement. In this case, we're not doing a finished basement just yet. We may plan to do it in the future, but still, this is my first step. And the reason that I like this water-based cementitious sealer is that it allows the concrete walls to breathe a little bit. Now, if you've seen basements where they've used dry lock and there are areas that chip and peel away, that's because in between the paint coat and the cement block is moisture. Now, moisture is a good thing and a bad thing. We want to keep as much of it out as possible, but at the same time, we don't want the sealer that we're using to fail. If it fails, then it's kind of pointless. In this case, this is a two-part system. It's like a powder and then a activator. You mix it with water, and then you do a couple coats of your product on the wall. In this case, I've already done 2 coats. What I like about doing 2 coats going into 3 coats is I can allow this product to show me the areas, to highlight the areas that I want to do a 3rd coat on. And again, I'm not going to eliminate all the moisture coming out from the wall. You don't want that. You want to eliminate a majority of it. You want the moisture to stay on the outside of the block but still be somewhat breathable. Just to give you guys a quick tour of the basement, this basement had a workbench here. It had shelving all attached to it. I had to do the demolition and just completely go bare wall. Every shelf, when I took it off, had bugs and millipedes and things behind it because you had a cement block wall, you had moisture, and then you had organic wood. This bench I will eventually replace. Just for the short term, I'm going to use it for storage. My step 1 is seal the walls, and then I'm going to follow up with an epoxy coat on the floor and maybe some insulation and finish the ceiling to some extent. Again, this basement is not going to be a finished basement yet, but the steps that I'm taking right now are going to allow me to make it a finished basement. So for this product, the tools we're going to need are the water sprayer. We're going to need a cement brush. This brush is about $5. And then we're going to need a measuring cup. Now, for the first 2 coats, I slap it on. It is pretty messy. You're going to get these little dots all over you from the cement. You're going to go and wash your hands a couple times. But my first coat of paint, I paint horizontally, and then the second coat of paint I paint vertically up and down, and that's where we are today. So we talked about my first coat. My first coat went on the next day, or you could do it 4 hours later. You could do the second coat, but I like to let the second coat sit for about a week to show me the areas that I want to do a 3rd coat on. Each coat that you add of this product gives another layer of waterproofing to it, still allowing the breathing of the product, but it hydrolocks to another level. I think it's like, 5 pounds of water locking for the first coat, 15 for the second coat, and like 35 pounds of water locking pressure, or whatever, however it's rated, for the 3rd coat. And I like to do it just on the areas where I'm seeing this staining. Obviously, this back corner is showing some staining. Under a window that has to get repaired is showing some staining. And this is stuff that I'm going to take care of the outside. But these are the fail points of it, quote unquote fail points, where I just want to put a 3rd coat. All right, so let's get into making the cement. Our first step is to take the hardener or activator and just give it a good shake. We're gonna mix this with 6 quarts of water. What I like to do is use a little warm water, and I like to leave the last quart to kind of get some of the bottom and junk out of the bottom of this. So I got my measuring cup. It's a 2-quart measuring cup. We got 2 quarts in there, and I'm using warm water. It's not hot. It's just right in the middle. Right now my water is just starting to heat up. Okay, we got 4 quarts in there. Now I'm gonna dump the activator in here. And then I'm gonna take my last 2 quarts to equal 6 quarts and put it in the bottle just to kind of wash out the all the goodness in there. 2 times is good. But you'll see it's a cloudy color right now, and by the second coat it'll be clear. This stuff is pretty good for a couple hours. I think the application time is like 4 hours, but it's one person, it takes you about an hour to do a 5-gallon bucket. The entire basement took 2 buckets per coat, so I'm at 4 buckets. This is my 5th bucket. And again, I'm not doing a full 3rd coat around everything, just in the areas that are showing me signs of some seepage. Now we have our water and activator in there. We're gonna put our cement in there. Because this is a fine dust cement, I'm just gonna use a respirator. You should always use a respirator when mixing things. We got a paddle mixer and a drill. I'm just going to quickly mix the activator and then slowly add my cement-based product in a little bit at a time. It does make it easier with 2 people. I've done it with 2 people, but 1 is fine. You could definitely do this project yourself. So I add a little bit just while mixing, a little bit at a time. It's not going to become a cement really until the end. Right now it's water, still a lot of water. I'm about 1/3 of the way through the bag. About halfway through the bag now, it's still water. Just a nice slow thing. I'm on the bottom of the bucket, making sure that all the product is just getting evenly distributed in the water. Now it's becoming a little bit thicker, probably like peanut butter, and I have dry on the top. Now I'm just going to slowly bring up my paddle and get it mixed. And I'm not going to overmix this, but I do want a nice even consistency. Those lumps go away, and it's okay to add more water. This product just gobbles water up. Honestly, the more water, the better in this. Turn it up to speed a little bit, really get down in there. There we go. And that's the consistency that we want. You can see that is pancake batter, peanut butter, whatever you want to call it. Wash our paddle off immediately because this stuff will dry into cement. So there we go. This is our mixture. Okay, so I'm gonna fill up my canister of water. You can use a hand sprayer, but it's gonna make, for 12 bucks or 15 bucks, whatever this thing costs, just makes your life a lot easier to use this pump sprayer. Okay, so we're completely ready to use this product now. Now, step number one is just gonna be wet the wall, wet the application, and honestly, the wetter it is, the easier this product is to spread. If your product starts to get a little thicker than you'd like, you can always add a little water just directly to the top of this, and it thins it down just a bit. I'll probably do that 5 or 6 times throughout using an entire bucket. So with our pump sprayer, and again, this is just pure water, I'm going to spray the whole area. And you'll see it darken in color. You'll know that's where you're going. And I just like to start high to low. Now, it's not in the product instructions, but I love adding this little border around. It helps seal the floor and the concrete block gap there. And I'm going to put an epoxy coat right over it, so you're not going to see any difference. But it just is above and beyond what we want to do in preventing water from getting into this basement. Okay, our area is nice and wet. I am again going over the area. It was just a little bit right here, but I'm going to do basically a couple feet on either side just because I have the product here. Now, I start going up and down for this coat, but I'm going to finish it horizontally. It's easier to put on horizontally. I'm sorry, it's easier to put on vertically, but the finished look looks better when it is horizontal. So up, down to put it on, finish it horizontally like that. Now, this is my third coat. The first coat, you do horizontally the entire thing. The second coat, you do vertically the entire thing. But for my finish coat, I always think that the horizontal finish just gives it, I don't know, more natural look. It kind of matches the concrete block a little bit. So slap it on. I keep everything nice and wet there. And then I just finish. Now I'm overlapping all my areas. So when I move a foot to the left, I'll kind of overlap a foot. And I just take my time. It takes me about an hour, hour and 15 to do a full bucket, and it took 2 buckets to do this entire basement. So you're looking at 2 hours per coat, let it dry, and then another 2 hours. So you could definitely do this over a weekend, but again, like what I was saying is I like to let this sit for a week, get a couple good heavy rains to see these areas where moisture is coming through to need that third coat. So let's knock this basement out and talk about it at the end. Okay, so that's it. Took about an hour on the dot to do 5 gallons. I ended up just doing a third coat over the wall that is below ground a little bit. The grade of this property kind of goes this way. So I took the time to just do all of this, including the 2 corners and the 4 window wells, just because I had the extra product. Otherwise, it was going in the garbage. And that's it. It's a super easy application. I think it makes a world of difference. Just even doing the 2 coats, what you feel down here is just clean. You don't have that dank feeling that you do in some basements. and it's a weekend project. This is the first step in finishing a basement to any extent. If I was going to sheetrock these walls, I would probably do glue, foam board insulation. Anything that goes up against a basement, I always use a waterproof version. So I would glue my foam board right up against the wall and then use steel stud and moisture-proof sheetrock. Basement waterproofing is a whole different video. Starts from the outside, can do inside. You could do drains all the way around here, but this is your basic basement finishing product. Now, I'm gonna use this basement to store tools, have some workout equipment. Basically, it's going to be a basement for the time being. So this product keeps my tools clean. I'm still gonna have a dehumidifier down here. I'm still gonna have fans circulating air, but it really does make a big difference in the overall feel of a basement. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe at the PMCM. See you all later.